The Middle of the Pack podcast.
So running is great in that way that it allows you to see the world. It allows you to travel and do the thing that you love.
Welcome to episode 15 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. And you just heard Tara Wilson there talking about part of her running journey. And she is our guest on this week's Middle of the Pack podcast. She is an extraordinary woman. I had a great chat with her. We could have talked for ages. We could have had 2 or 3 episodes. She talks about the social media account Women Who Run Ireland, working in the Run Hub, and her running journey as she has experienced to date. But I started off by asking her about where she works, and let's take it on from there. This is Tara Wilson on episode 15 of the Middle of the Pack podcast.
I work for the Run Hub, so I get to talk about running every single day, and I get to do gait analysis on people and on runners. And I guess it is a dream job for someone like me because, like I said, I get to meet all different types of runners. Like today, I got to meet a guy who's doing the Wicklow Way on Saturday, 130 kilometres across Wicklow. And then earlier on in the day, I had someone who was coming in for his first pair of runners, and he wants to start doing Couch to 5K. Brilliant. So it's amazing, like the scale and the scope of the people you meet every day, which is fantastic. You know, it is a dream job for me.
And which came first? Like, were you a runner with Run Hub, or were you a Run Hub and became a runner?
No, I've been running for the past 15 years now. So I started running 15 years ago. My brother died suddenly of an aneurysm, and he just dropped dead, and he was 38. And I started running basically just to deal with the grief. I didn't know how to handle the grief. So I ran the grief out of me, and I never stopped running then. So I think I ran through Jason's death, I ran through divorce, and I ran through assessment for breast cancer. So wow. I ran through, running has been the escape, you know, it's been the catalyst, it's how I heal, it's how I process, you know. I don't run for time, I just run to heal. I run in nature, you know, I'm a firm believer in run and feel. So I run how my body feels, and I never know what distance I'm going to run till I go out the door and put my runners on. Like the standard is 10 miles. I'm very lucky that I live on the foot of the Dublin Mountain. So I literally walk out my door and I'm up in the waterworks, and it's just amazing scenery. So I get to run in nature almost every day, which is fantastic. But I would run based on how I feel. And my pace varies and my distances vary depending on how I feel.
So but when you're doing a half marathon, or a marathon, do you do a training block, or do you still adopt that same policy?
Yeah. Well, I have. So 10 miles is my standard. So 10 miles, I always keep 10 miles in my leg, no matter what I'm doing. So because I have a strong foundation, I would probably do a 12-week marathon block. So like this year, I took the year off marathons, and I'm concentrating on halves because for the last 5 years, I've done 3 marathons a year. And I've done them not in like Ireland, I've done them all over the world. So this is my half marathon year. So if I'm in a marathon training block, which, you know, for the past 5 years, I've been in it constantly because they're 12-week segments. I would do a marathon training block for 12 weeks. My half marathon, because I keep 10 miles as the standard, the half marathon it's not that difficult for me to achieve. And I found out that through this year with the super half series, that it's much more enjoyable because, you know, you're not banjaxed after like a half marathon. You can go out and enjoy the city, and, you know, there's no recovery, very little recovery compared to marathon. And the training block for marathon is intense, you know, the commitment. It's totally different. You know, a marathon is a beast, and it's a beast for a reason. And I think there's a lot more people taking on the marathon distances, which I think is phenomenal. And there's a lot more people taking on the half marathon distance. A lot of young people are doing the half marathon distances, I think now, which is phenomenal. It's great. So running has really, really taken over the last couple of years, and it's fantastic. It really is. And it's everybody. The fact that Ava Crean won the marathon at 19 years of age. So you've got marathon from 19 all the way up. Like I see people like in the shop and they'd be like 66, 68 coming in to get their trainers and they're still out running. And I just think it's just so vast and anybody can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And can run, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So the half marathon series, is that a little bit like the six majors, or are you just doing,
Yes, yes, yeah,
explain
yeah.
it to me?
It's called the Super Half Series. And so you've got Prague, Valencia, Berlin, Lisbon, Cardiff, and Copenhagen. So I've completed Prague, I've completed Valencia, and I'm doing Berlin next March. And then, so you apply every year, and it's a lottery whether or not you get in. So you're right in what you're saying. It's like the majors, but it's for half marathon. So
Brilliant.
it's very, very accessible for all. And it's good because you incorporate travel and running.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's funny what you're saying, because you know, there is almost, you do have to respect the marathon, but you know, I haven't been running that long. Well, maybe 3, 4 years now. But you know, when we go from the couch to 5K and then we start training for half marathons and then we do marathon, and then a half marathon almost feels like, oh, like you say, you don't. But I remember doing my first half marathon and I was wrecked for about 3 days after it. But now it's a nice distance, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think the half marathon distance is a happy medium. You
Yeah,
know, it's more accessible. You can get there easily enough and you can recover easily enough for it. I think with the marathon, it needs a bit more respect and it is a beast and it needs a lot more commitment. And, you know, you need to focus on your nutrition. You know, a lot of people think marathon running, it's all about the training and it's all about the legs. I've done 15 marathons. I've ran all over the world. The legs and the training is only part of a marathon. You know, mentally a marathon, like the last 10K, it's not ran in your legs. It's ran
yeah,
in your head. It's in your mind. And when people are training for marathons, I think they leave out that bit, you know, they leave out the mental, the endurance part of marathon training because you don't only have to train the legs, you have to train the mind in a marathon because you're going to overcome challenges and you need to be able to solve those challenges in your mind.
But I remember doing the half marathon for the first time, and in my training, I actually ran longer than a half marathon.
Yeah.
So when I was doing the marathon, the thing that was freaking me out the most was I wasn't running the marathon distance. And I've even everyone I said that, they were going, "Oh, jeepers, you can't, no, don't, you'll run your race," and blah, blah, blah. So the mental bit is always, I haven't run
Yeah,
beyond.
it's that doubt in your mind.
Yeah,
There's always that doubt. And I think with marathon distances, you know, you really have to, you know, get in tune mentally and you have to give yourself mental challenges. And people in the Women Who Run Ireland group say to me, well, how do you train mentally for a marathon? I'm saying you train the mind simply by, you know, if you check your phone every 10 minutes, so you put your phone in a drawer and say, I'm leaving that phone there and I'm not going to check that phone for 4 hours. And the amount of times you will go back and then you have to say to yourself, no, no, I'm not checking that phone. I'm not checking that phone. That's mentally training yourself to overcome. And the same thing, if you want a biscuit or there's a biscuit in the press and you say, I'm not going to touch that biscuit. And you keep going to the press and you go, no, 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 no. So you're constantly saying, no, 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 I can do this. I can go 3 hours without my phone, or I can go without having that biscuit, or, you know, and it's the same on marathon day. You know, I think the last 10K, it's ran in your mind. It's not ran in your legs. You
yeah,
have to train your mind as well as your legs for a marathon. And I think a lot of people fall down on that. It's tough. As you
yeah,
know, the last 5 kilometers, your mind is screaming at you to stop. Like the doubt and Donna's is going, what do you do? Why? Like, what do you do? This is mental. Why are you doing this? You know? So you have to have tools in your toolkit to, you know, get that doubt and Donna and go, no, I can do this. Like
yeah.
you said, the 20 miles, you're saying, why am I only running 20 miles? Why am I not training to 26? And you're saying, I can't do this. So, yeah, I think that's a part of training in marathon people overlook.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I split it into park runs, so I've 8 park runs to do, and then as you're coming in, you're going, it's only a park run left,
Yeah,
all.
but it's
But
great to break it down, isn't it? Like that
yeah,
five
yeah, yeah.
days of park run.
But there are a lot of people dropping at that stage, and that even affects you as
Yeah,
well because you're going, don't look over there,
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But you recently did the Valencia half marathon after the as part of that Super Six you were telling us about, and how was your trip to Valencia?
Oh, it was amazing, Porrick. Really, really good. So I'm doing the Super Half series and I'm doing it solo. So I decided to do it on my own. I'm traveling all around all the different cities on my own, and it's quite liberating. So it's kind of stepping out of my comfort zone because all the other trips, running trips abroad that I've done, I've mostly done with the group in Women Who Run Ireland or other women. Or so this one I said I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to do it solo.
That's brave enough. And do you like traveling on your own, or this is the first?
No, well, I travel to the Canaries and stuff like that on my own. I do an awful lot of trail running out there, but traveling to the likes of Valencia, and I'm doing Berlin now in March, like, so it's definitely stepping out of my comfort zone. I did the London Marathon on my own, which was the first one, so that was a big one, and trying to
Jesus.
navigate, the underground and stuff like that. So I said, well, look, if I can do London on my own, I can do Valencia and Berlin and all the other stuff. So,
Absolutely. Jeepers London is daunting enough just going
isn't
shopping, never
it?
mind trying to run a marathon.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was my first taste of it, running solo. And I just think that, you know, if we were to wait around and do that for other people, we would never do anything. So running is great in that way that allows you to see the world. It allows you to travel and do the thing that you love as well. So it works for me.
Absolutely. I fell in love with Dublin just doing the Dublin Marathon. Like normally I kind of go up going, being from Cork, I get a little bit,
I know,
antsy.
listen, you have the Cork Marathon, and that's fabulous, and it's getting sold out every year. But have you done the Dublin Marathon a few times, or was that your first
No,
time doing it?
no, Cork Marathon this year was my first marathon and Dublin Marathon was my
Wow.
second marathon.
So how
So
does it compare?
I'm,
How does
uh, I have a huge amount of Cork listeners, so I don't want to offend them by saying Dublin was. No, I
I
mean
just
Cork
think
is lovely and it's nice and it's small and it's got that, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean it in that it's just that's probably like the city. It's just nice. It's compact. It's got a lovely feel to it. But Dublin just blew me away. It was just when you talk about the mind monsters and hitting the wall and all those sort of things, you've got so much support from people that don't know you. It distracts you like.
absolutely 100%, and I totally get where you're coming from because I've ran marathons in Barcelona, London, Rome, everywhere, Prague. I've ran all over the world and I've ran Dublin every year since 2018. Or I'm just going to let the dog out because she's
Yeah,
in that.
that's all right.
She would keep running up and down until I let her out.
I know
But
we
you're
had one
right.
of them too.
Dublin is it's special. There's nothing like it. There's no part of the Dublin route on them 26.2 miles that is not supported. And I think that's what makes it special.
Yeah.
It's not known as the friendliest marathon in the world for nothing. And as I said, you have strangers coming out just embracing you and screaming your name and shouting for you and wanting you to succeed, which is lovely.
Yeah, because it's funny because they have your name printed. So some people were shouting your name whether they were going, and then myself and my wife only just joined a club recently. And we were always worried that, wearing a club vest would be like a target on your back, that people would be kind of like going, oh, look at him, he thinks he's great. But it just made it even better because people were saying, go Eagles and go Eagle
Yeah.
and go Padraig or Porrick or whatever, that was just brilliant. And like the weather was so bad, but they were still all out with their coats and just, you know,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
100%.
Like,
Yeah, like I think I didn't, was it last year or the year before? I think it was the year before. Oh my God, it rained in Dublin from start to finish. I had blisters. I'd never experienced anything like it in my life. But the same thing, the support, and people came out to support, and it was fantastic.
but you touched on Women Who Run Ireland. Now that is how it was actually Sinead Power introduced me to that, to your account. It is your account, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I set that up during COVID, Warwick. And it's just gone from strength to strength. Like there's over 7,000 women in the group. But in this group, the women have the security blanket of being able to talk about anything, and I do mean anything, that they probably wouldn't talk about if there was men in the group. Like they talk about, chafing in sensitive parts. They talk about postpartum running, after having a baby. And there's so many things. They talk about running during menopause, and there's so many challenges that women have to overcome. They talk about marathon training, half marathon, 5K, having families, how to fit everything in. And I just feel that it's a safe space for them to share anything that's going on or bothering them, that they probably wouldn't feel comfortable or confident sharing. If there was men there, and that's the only reason why it's 7,500 women all over Ireland that's in that group, because they do talk about sensitive stuff as well as other stuff in running, so.
Yeah. And is it more than the Instagram? So you have a WhatsApp group or something as
Yeah,
well?
there's the Facebook group has 7,500 members. So the Facebook group would be where, like, when my Instagram account is really me just sharing their stories, their inspiration, and I guess mine as well. But
Yeah.
the Facebook group is where they go to chat and they go to, seek solutions to problems that they're having. In a safe space, which I think is fantastic. And they also, ask about races and, is anybody doing this race? Or, they ask about couch to 5Ks. They say, I'm trying to get back running after having a baby. And there's a lot of advice there saying, what shorts should I wear? Has anyone got shorts, for pockets? So it's everything in the Facebook group more so. But the Instagram is more me sharing their journey and,
Yeah.
their races and their achievements. And I think it's important. I think it's important to celebrate everyday women. These women like myself, like, okay, we're not pro athletes or anything, but running is accessible to everyone. And it's important for me to share other people's successes as well as my own. And
Brilliant.
success to me is running a marathon, but success to someone else could be a park run. And it's
Absolutely.
important that they have a platform too. That it's not all about marathon, that it's not all about half marathon. The women, it could be a 10K race that they do, and it's their medal and it's their achievement. And I think with the Instagram, yes, it's on Facebook, and I take those photographs from Facebook and then I post them on Instagram as well. And I think that's important. I think it's important that we celebrate ordinary, everyday women who really are extraordinary, because they have to juggle family. They have to juggle work. They have to juggle so many things. So obviously men do that as well, but I think women do the lion's share of the work when it comes to raising family and kids. And I just think it's important. Now, you are great and you do lend a hand. Okay. I'm not dissing you. I'm not throwing you shade, but I just think women do the lion's share of that work. And I definitely do think that it's good to celebrate their achievements, because they are extraordinary. They really, really are.
I suppose where it's all resonating with me is a similar thing. The reason behind the podcast was a similar sort of thing, is to celebrate everyday runners. That there's an awful lot of people celebrating the elites, but nobody celebrates the person that has just gone out and completed a park run, and that's huge for a lot of people.
100%, and I totally agree with you. It's their mountain.
Yeah.
Your mountain is your mountain. My mountain is my mountain. And everybody has their own mountain. We all have, we all set a goal. We all set ourselves a target, and it's up to us to achieve it. And when we do achieve it, I think it's really important that it's celebrated and it's acknowledged.
Absolutely.
It really, really is, and you're right. Like, I genuinely feel that it's everyday people need to be celebrated, as well as the elites, as well as the pros,
Yeah.
Their achievement, to me, it's no less. It's their method.
I mean, to mention even Sinead Power, a lot of people talk about, I did it in 2.5 hours, the marathon did it in 3 hours, or I was sub 4. But I keep saying to her, like, she did the Dublin in 7 hours, over 7 hours.
Yes.
That's a huge achievement.
There's another lady in our group, I think her name is Fiona Wise, and similar. Like there was no purple carpet. I'm actually going to post it next week. You know, Fiona said there was no purple carpet. It was dark. There was nobody to greet her, and there was no t-shirts left,
Oh
but she got
no.
a medal. You know, so imagine being out from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night in the evening. There's no purple carpet. There's no finish line up. The finish line was gone. She said they were packing up the medals and she got a medal, but there was no t-shirts in her size left. So she didn't get a t-shirt. And so I will be posting Fiona's story next weekend on Women Who Run because she deserves to be celebrated. And I have
Absolutely.
more respect for people who are out on that course for 5, 6, 7 hours than I do for someone who has ran it in 2:30, 3 or 4 hours, you know, because they're at home in the pubs or with their families and they're celebrating. And the likes of Sinead and Fiona are still out on that course.
Yeah.
And that is determination. Like to me, that's determination.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's someone with real strength, real endurance, real tenacity, determination, who is not giving up. And I love that. Like I genuinely love to see that. And I think more people should be taking on the marathon, you know, in that capacity.
Yeah, and it should like the good for age is a nice way, but they're still impossible times. And even
Yes.
little things like for us, for me, you know, I when I was doing the first marathon, you know, I was talking to people about gels, and they were going, "Oh, you should try the Adidas shorts. It's great because these got pockets for your gels. It's got pocket for 2 gels. So you know, if you're going to do it in 2 hours, you might have enough gels. I need a pockets for 8 gels and 2 waters. You know."
Well, here's one for you. I don't take gels, so I'm a real food runner. So I need a backpack. You know, I need people on the course. You know, I need people to give me food throughout I'd run a marathon in 4:10, 4:15. I ran Dublin in 3:59 or London. But I still, you know, need that support and I still need, you're right, like these shorts, they're even trail shorts. What am I going to fit in a trail short?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one banana, I'm done. Like, you know, so I agree with you. When the manufacturers are making the shorts, I guess that's why people are using the running vest now.
Yeah, but there are, in fairness, now there are other sports manufacturers that are making shorts now with elastic all the way around, so you can actually fit loads of gels in that sort of thing.
Yeah,
You know,
they're more trail shorts, I think, you know, which is good. You can wear them in the marathon. You know, I do a lot of trail running myself. But yeah, I'm starting to switch over to the running vest now, which I never thought I would. But I just find them so handy now to pack everything that I need into them.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So just back to the Women Who Run Ireland. If someone is listening and they want to join the group, be part of the group, how do they do that?
Yeah, they just go on to Facebook and they can do a search for Women Who Run Ireland. You'll see the group in there. There's a page and there's a group. The group has 7,500 people. And again, you can check out the Instagram. It's Women Who Run Ireland. And the Instagram is basically me sharing what's on the Facebook and sharing tips about marathons, tips about trail and stuff like that. And again, it's my experience running. And like I said, I've been running 15 years.
So, have you a favorite shoe, or does the Run Hub give you a
Yeah,
shoe addiction?
well, yeah. I mean, I ran Valencia in the ASICS Tokyo, the Meta Speed. I love them, and there's a new one coming out at the minute. But my everyday shoe, where I'm running at the minute, Brooks have launched the Ghost Trail. It's literally only out this week. I was very fortunate to have it since September, so I've been running in the Brooks Ghost Trail. It's a hybrid shoe, which is fantastic. So it takes you from road to trail.
Yeah, yeah.
My other rotation shoe, very similar at winter, is the Salomon, the Aeroglide Gravel 3. That's a hybrid shoe as well, and that takes you from road to trail as well. But y- anyone who's, you know, running in forests and trails and in parks, you know, we've got the leaves all falling on the ground. The ground is very slippy. Then you've got the winter coming, you've got frost on the ground, and then you could have a bit of snow. So a hybrid shoe for the winter, I would recommend everybody gets a hybrid shoe, especially in Ireland, and it will take them through the whole winter into spring. So the hybrid shoe has more grip on the bottom, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
tend to be better. Like they're not. You can get Gore-Tex ones, obviously, but the Brooks Ghost Trail and the Solomon Aeroglide Gravel 3 that will take anybody through winter. So
Don't,
they're my favorite at the minute.
I don't mean to put you on the spot now, but is there such a thing as a waterproof, totally waterproof running jacket?
Yeah, actually, Mizuno has a lovely, totally waterproof jacket. Yeah, and it definitely a lot of them are like windproof and it says showerproof. So when you're looking for a waterproof jacket, you really, really need to read the label. And if it says showerproof, it's not. It's
Yeah.
it's not waterproof. You're looking for something that says waterproof, not wind or not showerproof, because they're not going to work. They're just for the wind and showers. But it will say waterproof. The thing about waterproof jackets is you sweat a lot in them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's the only thing. And I think running in the winter, you don't want to hold, that sweat inside. It's not a good idea. Your body needs to breathe.
There's nothing worse than putting on a jacket for a warm up, thinking it'll keep you dry, and then you're soaking by the time you
And
get to.
it's very common. It's very common in Ireland. People are going in and they're buying jackets and it's showerproof. It's not waterproof. They're two completely different. And another thing that they're doing, if they get a waterproof jacket, they're putting it in the washing machine and they're washing it. And then, sure, it's not waterproof anymore. Like it's going around and they're putting detergent in it and they're putting
Yeah,
fabric.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't do that with waterproof jackets at all.
And was the weather good in Valencia when you were doing it, or was it too hot?
No, the day before Porrig, it was 28 degrees, and I was going, yes, yes, this is fantastic. The next morning, I woke up, and the first 5K, it was that nice, hazy, beautiful, rain, and I was like, this is fantastic, this is great. 12 kilometers, the rain in Spain came. So it was that, Spanish rain where it comes real hard and
Yeah,
fast and heavy. So I had that from 12 kilometers onwards, and I was literally wading through puddles because they don't have, you know,
drainage.
yeah, they don't have the drainage sorted in Spain. So the old, as it's Tokyo, Metaspeeds were absolutely destroyed. They looked like I'd done a trail run by the time I got to the finish line. But I enjoyed it. I love running. It was 19 degrees, but it was wet, so it wasn't cold. It wasn't like Dublin. You got really bad weather in Dublin
Uh-huh.
this, I believe. And I believe it was really cold as well. So I did get the rain, but I didn't get the cold.
It was
So
like there were two freak days. Saturday and Sunday were just really cold, and we were queuing at the RDS really cold. Pre-race cold. After the race, it was just freezing. Like just because obviously you've just stopped running as well.
yeah,
But and then the next day was just back to normal, back to up above 10, 12 degrees. So,
yeah.
but I didn't mind. And that's why I was saying about the people. They were great, like that they were out in that.
Yeah, standing for hours and hours and hours. And that's why I love Dublin. And that's why I keep going back to it. Like I've ran it every year since 2018. And the only reason why I didn't run it this year because I got the lottery for Valencia. Like I had a ticket for Dublin, but I think with Valencia and the Super Habs, it is a lottery. So when you get your place in it, you're crazy not to take it. So that's the only reason why I missed Dublin this year because I had my place in Valencia.
And how many more half marathons next year?
Well, I got into Berlin. So, like I said, it's a lottery. I tried for Copenhagen, Cardiff, and Lisbon, and I didn't get into them. So, I have Berlin. So, I have one super half race next year to do. So, I'll apply then to the others, obviously, in 2026 to run them in 2027. You're supposed to complete the super halves in 6 years. So, it's one a year. And I think the way the lottery system is, it will probably take me 6 years to do it. So I did Prague last year, Valencia this year, Berlin next year. And like I said, I have applied for every single lottery. Obviously, I'm not applying for Prague, Valencia, the ones I've done. But yeah, it's a nice one. It's a nice one to get stuck into. But and I think they've a good system because if I don't get in 2 years' time, like if I apply in 2026 for 2027 and I don't get any races in 2027 and I apply in 2028 and I don't get a lottery in 2028, I can contact the Super Habs and they'll make sure that I can get a race.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you just have to show that, you didn't, weren't successful in the lottery in the last year. So yeah, that's it. That's for me. That's Super Halves is it. I've the Donna D 50K in February next year, and that'll be my first ultra. But there's no way I could have done that Orig if I hadn't have taken the year off from marathon training.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
body, I needed this. I needed this break just to let my body rest.
Well, listen, Tara, it's one of these ones that we could talk for hours. It's been a real pleasure. And yeah, just thank you so much for coming on and sharing.
No, I really appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck with it and enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. It is a journey. It's not all about times, finishing times, and it's an adventure. Running is an adventure.
Yeah, and we'll keep in touch and we'll keep following the Instagram page. I know I can't join your Facebook, but I might get my wife to do it so she
Get your wife to join the Facebook page, and yeah, no, definitely keep in contact in Instagram. And if there's any content, like send it over to me and I'll share.
Okay.
It's because I think we're both of the same mindset. We want to celebrate everyday runners, and it's important that they are recognised for their achievements.
Absolutely. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. And that was Tara Wilson from Women Who Run Ireland. And I do hope you enjoyed this week's show. I know I certainly did. I really do appreciate all these guests that are coming on, giving up their free time to just chat with me and talk about all things running. You can follow us on all the social media channels, like and subscribe on all the podcast platforms. It would be much appreciated. We come out every Wednesday. We have an episode released every Wednesday. So please tune in, keep tuning in, and as I said, keep liking and subscribing. So this has been the Middle of the Pack podcast, and for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.